Hello, my name is Beata. Welcome to another episode of my Thoth series. In this one, I will tell you about the symbolism and meaning of the Ace of Discs. I will start with a description of the card, and then we will dive deeper into the symbolism of all of the elements that I mention. As usual, I will list the meanings of this card in divination at the very end. What is a bit surprising to see in this card is that we can see wings here, and it makes us think of the element of air rather than earth. We have also elements that look like slices of tree trunks, but even they are see-through, which again makes us wonder why such a solid element as earth is being represented by such light and airy symbols. We have a large disc in the very middle of the card with some symbols that we will be explaining in just a moment. We will decipher the inscription on the outer ring of the disc as well. We do have a lot of warm bronze colors in this card, and also a lot of lovely deep greens. The colors of the card make me think of a lush forest. They are very comforting and calm. The color palette of this card is definitely in tune with what we would expect to see. Let's get some help from Crowley in deciphering all of these elements. Here is what he says about this card in the Book of Thoth. The old conception of the earth as a passive, immobile, even dead, even evil element had to go. Nor are the discs anymore to be considered as coins. The disc is a whirling emblem, naturally so, since it is now known that every star, every true planet, is a whirling sphere. The atom, again, is no more the hard, intractable, dead particle of Dalton, but a system of whirling forces, comparable to the solar hierarchy itself. So we will start by talking about why we have a suit of discs in this deck instead of coins or pentacles. And before we dive into this, I just wanted to quickly remind you to like this video, leave a comment, and subscribe to my channel. If you find my videos valuable, you can show your support by becoming a patron or with a one-time donation through PayPal. All links are in the video description below. Thank you very much for considering this. Your support will allow me to continue making these videos for you. Okay, let's get back to the Ace of Discs now. If you are new to Thoth, you are probably wondering why we have discs here. This is the first deck where the name of the last suit has been changed. In Rider-Waite-Smith's deck we had pentacles, and before that we had coins. Crowley begins his passage explaining the Ace of Discs by trashing all of the previous deck authors and occult writers, and he even says that all previous packs are of little more than archaeological interest. And I will spare you his rant. We only need to know that he boasts that he devised a new symbolism for the new eon that, of course, nobody else understood. Or even if they did, they were bound by the oath of secrecy of the orders they belonged to, and therefore could not publicly share their knowledge. And this is why he says in the quote that it's an old way of thinking about the element of earth to see it as passive and immobile. Through the new discoveries of science, we now know that everything is moving, all matter is constantly vibrating. The dead particle of Dalton mentioned in the quote relates to a previous theory about atoms as tiny indivisible particles. According to Newton, God in the beginning formed matter in solid, massy, hard, impenetrable, movable particles. So our idea of what matter is changed quite a bit over the years, and this is what Crowley wanted to emphasize by changing the solid coins into whirling discs that better reflect matter as we now understand it. And if we think about this movement makes all matter alive, it's a basic idea of Hermeticism that everything is alive, everything has a spirit. And spirit, as the breath of life, is associated with the element of air. And you can find out more about this in my video about the Ace of Swords. So this is why we have wings here in this card. This is why the supposedly solid elements, like slices of tree trunks, are transparent. This card shows us the idea that all matter is alive and infused with spirit. If we have a look at the four worlds of Kabbalah, we will also notice that Keter in the world of Asaya, the manifested world that we are in now, is linked to Tiferet in Yetzirah and Malkuth in Bria. So the Ace of Discs has a link to the Six of Swords and the Ten of Cups. So it's the heart of the formative world and the last manifestation of the creative world that have their part in the inception of the very idea and power of the manifested world. Now let's have a look at the seal in the middle of the card. Crowley tells us that it's customary for the author of the deck or the publisher to put their mark on the Ace of Discs. And the seal we have here is the seal that Crowley used as his personal mark. We can see it in a slightly changed form in the Five of Wands and the Prince of Wands cards. In the very middle of the symbol, we have what Crowley explains as yet another form of tetragrammaton, the phallus, showing Sol and Luna, with the number 666 duly inscribed. So what we have here is basically a drawing of cock and balls, which I think is very funny because this is what boys usually like to draw on every possible surface. So I think it's quite fitting that Crowley, with his sense of humor, would choose this symbol as his personal sigil. He does seem to be a bit obsessed with the phallus and its symbolism as a force of creation, an instrument of personal will. And we will see more of this type of symbolism when we get to major arcana. We have symbols of the sun and moon here. There is a white crescent of the moon just under the middle circle, symbolizing the sun. And this shows us the completeness of the creative energy here. We have both luminaries together, the masculine and feminine energy combined. 666 is, of course, the number of the beast in Bible. And the magic square of the sun also adds up to 666. And Agrippa tells us that this is the number of the daemon of the sun, which we might call the negative potential of the sun's energy. In the top circle, we have a small vertical line that could be interpreted as number 1. Crowley tells us that if we interpret it this way and add it to 666, we will get the number of the Scarlet Woman, 667. And this calculation is done based on numerology, but you will need to see Agrippa for the correct correspondence tables, and the numerology here is based on Greek. And the Scarlet Woman is, of course, connected to Babylon. And we can see her in the Lost card of this deck, and as you know, she is a very important deity in Thelema. She is a female counterpart of the beast, and it's because of her that crossing of the abyss is even possible. And we have already seen the 7-pointed Star of Babylon in the Five of Wands and the Prince of Wands. Here, in the Ace of Discs, we have a heptagram surrounding the phallic symbol in the center. Crowley says that this shows the equilibrium of masculine and feminine energies. Surrounding the heptagram, we have 2 interlaced pentagons creating a decagon, so a 10-sided polygon shape. The symbolism of a pentagon is related to the 5-pointed star. As you probably remember, the pentagram is a symbol of 4 elements ruled by spirit, the perfect harmony of all elemental forces. And we have 2 pentagons here, one pointed upward and one reversed. Therefore, we are getting here the complete energy with both its positive and negative polarities. Around the two pentagons, we have 10 elements of the whirling disk, emphasizing the animated nature of matter. And all of this is enclosed in a circle, a symbol of completeness and perfection. Around the disk, we have the name Tomegatherion, which means the great beast in Greek. The numerological value of this name is, of course, 666, but Crowley also draws our attention to the fact that the name has 12 letters, so it's another symbol of completeness, like 12 signs of the zodiac or 12 months of the year. So the disk as a whole is showing us the power of creation. All the elemental forces are in balance, ready to help us manifest anything we want in matter. And we also have 6 wings in this card, and this is how Crowley explains their significance. About this whirling disk are its 6 wings. The entire symbol is not only a glyph of Earth, as understood in this new Eon of Horus, but of the number 6, the number of the sun. This card is thus an affirmation of the identity of Sol and Terra, recognized as living beings, one's constant companions in a universe of pure joy. If you are wondering what the Eon of Horus is about, I explained the 3 eons in my video about the Ace of Cups. So we can see in this quote another confirmation of a link with the 6 of Swords, the Tiferet of Yetzirah. And you probably remember that the most important part of the energy of that card was the heart. Here, we are also told that the sun and earth are living beings. We can use the great power of creation within us if we understand that we are a part of a living organism, and then we can live in a universe of pure joy. There are also 19 smaller feathers here at the top of each wing, and the 19th card of Major Arcana is the sun. So we have another confirmation of the importance of this solar energy here. We also have 11 lines in the tree trunk slices, and of course the 11th card of Major Arcana is Lust, so we see the energy of Babylon present here symbolically again as well. The Ace of Discs shows us the root of the power of the element of Earth. It shows us what we can expect in the suit and what is the overall energy of this element. We had some inspiration in the Suit of Wands, we started to make plans, and then we added emotional engagement in the Suit of Cups. We formed our ideas about what we are going to do in the Suit of Swords, and now it's finally time to create, to manifest the original idea in matter using our skills and resources. It's time to get to work. Now I'm going to tell you a bit about the meaning of this card in divination. The Ace of Discs shows us all that is material. It can show money, but also our skills, our very real and concrete possibilities. It can be related to work, but also to everything concerning nature. And this is also our physical effort, the practical application of our plans, dreams, and thoughts. This card can show us a new job opportunity, a possibility to do business with someone. It can show a new source of income or an unexpected influx of money. Ace of Discs can also show that you will be learning a new skill or you will start a new hobby. If it shows up as a description of a person, it will be someone who enjoys being in nature and is very practical. This is someone you can rely on. If this card shows up in your reading as advice, it will remind you about the practical side of things. You have a plan, but now it's time to pull up your sleeves and do the work. As an obstacle, the Ace of Discs will be telling you that you are focused on the material side of things too much. You can be obsessing about achieving something practical, like buying a car or a house, but you are forgetting about the other aspects of your life. You need to remember that wealth brings us joy when it's shared with others, when it allows us to have the lifestyle that we want. That's it for today. Thank you so much for watching, and please remember to like the video, leave a comment, and of course, subscribe to my channel. I would like to thank everyone who is already supporting me. I appreciate your help very much. If you find my videos valuable, you can show your support by becoming a patron or with a one-time donation through PayPal. All links are in the video description below. Thank you very much for considering this. Your support will allow me to continue making these videos for you. Once again, thank you all for today, and I will see you in the next video about the Two of Discs very soon. Thank you, bye! And now let's hear from Selma, one of my cats.